This is Okinoshima, an island off the coast of Shimane prefecture in Japan. It is home to an almost forgotten 800-year-old mystery that involves intrigue, exile, sorrow, and divine swords. Not many people are aware of the island's legacy that's hidden in plain view within the island's architecture. The 82nd Emperor, Gotoba, was born on 6th of August 1180, around the start of the Genpei War. He was placed on the throne when he was 3 years old, by his grandfather, the cloistered Emperor Go-Shirakawa, after the Taira clan had taken Gotoba's older half-brother, the child Emperor Antoku, and absconded from Kyoto. The Genpei War lasted for 5 years. The Taira clan were pursued across the country by the Minamoto forces until they were cornered and engaged in a naval battle at Dan-no-ura in the Shimonoseki Straits. Outnumbered, and with the tide pushing them towards their enemies, the 7-year-old Antoku's grandmother, Taira no Tokiko, told him to pray to the east, and while he did, she put the imperial jewels in the folds of her kimono, the sword in her belt, took the boy in her arms, and jumped overboard. They were never seen again. Gotoba retired as emperor at 19 years old, and placed his son on the throne, allowing him more time to pursue personal interests while maintaining control over the imperial court. He was said to be a man of incredible talent, excelling in many things, such as horse riding, kemari, martial arts, and his greatest love, poetry. According to the Masukagami, he was also a connoisseur of Japanese swords, and said to have had an eye better than that than a man of the way. Leading up to the Jokyu disturbance of 1221, he invited the best swordsmiths in the land to make swords with him in monthly rotation at his imperial residence. These swordsmiths were given the honorific collective title of the Gobankaji. Swords said to be made, or at least quenched by the emperor, bear a hairline engraving of a chrysanthemum in the base of the blade. And have been passed down by elite warriors and recorded in books for generations. Gotoba was swiftly defeated in the Jokyu disturbance by the Shogunate, following which he took tonsure and was sent to Okinoshima, where he would spend the rest of his life in exile. As a sword specialist, the story of Emperor Gotoba has fascinated me for years. I have collected and studied materials looking at old images and places and objects associated with his legend. Finally, I decided I had to go to the island to visit his gravesite and investigate the area. First, I took an hour and 20-minute flight from Tokyo Haneda Airport to Yonago Kitaro Airport in Tottori Prefecture. Then, I took the Sakai Line train from Yonago Airport Station to the ferry port in Sakai Minato. This is the port town of Sakai Minato. The area is famous for the manga series Gegege no Kitaro and has a whole street named after the artist called Mizuki Shigeru Road. The road is lined with bronze statues of the characters and full of stores and restaurants dedicated to the manga. Finally, it was time to board the Okikisen Line ferry. The journey to Okinoshima takes about 3 hours, during which it is possible to sometimes see pods of dolphins or the occasional whale. After about 2 hours, the Oki Islands finally come into view. As we sail between the islands, I'm reminded of a poem by Emperor Gotoba on his arrival here. Finally, I arrive at Hishiura Port. The Oki Islands are famous for their abundant wildlife and natural beauty. And were designated a global geopark by UNESCO in 2013. The famous author, Takario Hearn, once stayed on the islands for a week in the port town of Hishimura. He named the bay Kagamigaura, as its stilled surface is like that of a glass mirror, a name that remains today. As well as crystal clear waters, there are lots of temples and shrines. And quaint museums. After sailing all day through inclement weather, the Emperor Gotoba landed here at Saki Harbour on the 5th day of the 8th month, 1221. It is said that he sat on this rock while his servants searched for lodgings in the nearby village. Unable to find suitable lodgings, Gotoba and his servants went across the bay to Miho Jinja. a shrine almost completely hidden by trees on top of a small hill facing the harbour. After staying the night at Miho Shrine, it is said that the Emperor Gotoba and his servants trekked along the tops of these mountains, coming down at this point marked by these ancient graves. From here, they then came along the main route until they reached Gobankaji Temple. Gobankaji Temple was built between 724 and 749. The temple was destroyed after the Meiji Restoration when Shintoism and Buddhism were formally separated. It is said that Emperor Gotoba's lodging was between Gobankaji Temple and this old well. There appear to be some old footings that remain, although it cannot be confirmed if these were actually from the Emperor's house. This is Katsuta Pond. There is a story that the noise of the frogs saddened the Emperor and he composed this waka poem. It is said that the frogs never made a sound ever again. It is said that the regent, Hojo Yoshitoki, despite being attacked by Gotoba, looked kindly upon him, even sending him swordsmiths to Okinoshima. These smiths became known as the Gobankaji. This nearby monument is inscribed with his most famous poem. Despite repeated requests for reprieve, and after 19 years in exile, Emperor Gotoba became gravely ill. He wrote his last will and testament before passing away on the 28th of March 1239. He was 58 years old. He was cremated and interred here, close to Gobankaji Temple, now overseen by Oki Shrine. His spirit lives on.